ثناء جميل، واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له، واشهد ان سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى اله واصحابه والتابعين له باحسان الى يوم الدين. اما بعد. Inshallah ta'ala, today we're going to make a revision the Kitab al-Nuqayah by Suyuuti, and we're going to delay the starting of the new book for next week, inshallah. So next week we're going to start the Kitab منظومة البيقونية في مصطلح الحديث, in the science of hadith, next week, inshallah ta'ala. But today we're just going to quickly go over the last book that we were studying. You guys are all happy with that, right? Inshallah ta'ala. Revision is always beneficial. So let's start by saying this book, Nuqayah. Who's the author of this book? So this Kitab Nuqayah is a book written by Jalaluddin As-Suyuuti. The Kitab Nuqayah is written by Jalaluddin As-Suyuuti rahimahullah. Good. This book is originally taken from the Kitab Nuqayah is originally taken from a kitab called Mawaqi' al-Ulum. Okay. And of course it's taken from the Itqan of Suyuuti as well. And this kitab is written by Al-Bulqini. Okay. So the Kitab Nuqayah, which is the book that we're studying, is originally taken from the book Mawaqi' al-Ulum fi Mawaqi' al-Nujum. The full name is Mawaqi' al-Ulum في مواقع النجوم. The best tahqiq of the kitab, the best tahqiq is the tahqiq of Sheikh Mashhur Hassan. Inshallah, buy it. It is 1 volume. The best tahqiq, the best publication is Mashhur Hassan's one. And you can buy it from the Sharjah book fair, inshallah ta'ala. Get that, because you will learn more than the types that are mentioned in the what? The Nuqayah. There are more types. So the Nuqayah originally comes from the Kitab Mawaqi' al-Ulum fi Mawaqi' al-Nujum, and the best copy for the Mawaqi' is the tahqiq of Mashhur Hassan for the Mawaqi'. The first book written in this science, the first book written in Usool Al-Tafseer, specifically in a very scholastic way, is the earliest books that were written is Al-Kafiji's kitab. Al-Kafiji. He has a kitab called At-Tayseer. At-Tayseer fi Qawa'id Al-Tafseer. It's called At-Tayseer. Again. At-Tayseer by Al-Kafiji. Al-Kafiji. So a lot of the times we were mentioning these two books whilst we were explaining the book. Okay. This book, which is Nuqayah, there's an explanation for it. There's an explanation. And the explanation that we used and that we brought many times is I'm now going back to the original book now, the Nuqayah. It's a kitab called Itmamu Ad-Diraya لقراء النقاية. Okay, and it's an explanation by the author himself. Suyuuti explained the Nuqayah himself. It's not confusing, isn't it? Is it? This is the kitab that we're studying now. It came originally from the Mawaqi' al-Ulum fi Mawaqi' al-Nujum by Al-Bulqini, so Jalaluddin Al-Bulqini. And this science, one of the earliest books that were written in it, is the Tafseer by Al-Kafiji. Then I went back to the Nuqayah. The best explanation for it is the author himself. It's called Itmam al-Diraya liqurra'i al-Nuqayah. Remember we said in this kitab al-Nuqayah, there are how many sciences inside it? How many? Huh? No. In the Nuqayah. Huh? This is one mistake I did when I was now talking. I'm going to correct myself. Hey? So it's 14 sciences, okay? So I did a mistake. I'm going to correct myself now. The Nuqayah has inside it how many sciences? 14 sciences. 14. Inside there. One of the sciences is ilm al-Tafseer. And that's the one we chose from it. So the Nuqayah is a big book. In there are many subjects. 14 different subjects are in the Nuqayah. We just took the ilm al-Tafseer one out of there. There is Nahw in there is Sarf in there's Balagha, the 3 types, ilm al-Bayan, ilm al-Badi', ilm al-Ma'ani. So when I meant Mawaqi' al-Ulum was taken, Nuqayah was taken from Mawaqi' al-Ulum, I mean the Tafseer section, not the whole entire Nuqayah. Does that make sense? I'm correcting myself here. And we mentioned the 14 sciences, Suyuuti, 12 of those sciences, he wrote it when he was how old? Huh? Hey, who knows? How old was Suyuuti when he wrote the 12 sciences? Hey? Yeah? He was 21 years of age. 21 years of age. And then when he added 2 more subjects. How old was he when he added the 2 extra subjects to make it 14? Yeah? Huh? 48, 49 تقريبا. صح? Around that age. 40 something. There's different statements and different views. He added extra 2. And he made it how many? 14. Before I move on, does everyone understand that? Don't be shy. If you don't know, say, I don't know. I didn't understand what you said. And if this is your first class, then of course it will take time to take it in. So I'm going to quickly mention it again, okay? The book that we were studying is called Al-Nuqayah. The Nuqayah has inside it 14 sciences. Okay? Traditionally, the word science meant subjects. Okay? Like in modern day English, the word science is used for what? Empirical science, empirical evidence, empirical biology, physics, chemistry is referred to as science. Like traditionally, the word science meant knowledge. It meant a subject. So I'm using it in the traditional way, okay? I'm not using the modern day usage of the word, okay? But I'll be more specific. 14 subjects are inside Al-Nuqayah. 14 subjects. This book, Al-Nuqayah, has 14 subjects. Of course, we're not going to do all the 14 subjects. We chose one. We picked it and we said, we're going to do one. And that is what? Ilm al-Tafseer. This Ilm al-Tafseer, which is one subject, was taken from the Mawaqi' al-Ulum fi Mawaqi' al-Nujum by Jalaluddin Al-Bulqini, rahimahullah. Was taken from this. And I say the best publication for that is what? The Tahqiq of Sheikh Mashhoor is one. This science, which is Ilm al-Tafseer, one of the early books, the most comprehensive early books that were written in it, is the Tafseer by Al-Kafiji. The reason why I never mentioned Ibn Taymiyyah's one, because Ibn Taymiyyah one is loosely called Usool al-Tafseer, but it's specific to a particular point, which is how to do tafsir best. He doesn't talk about tafsir in general. The Shaykh only mentions and focuses on mainly, and of course it's not an organized book. Ibn Taymiyyah quickly scribbled it down, rahimahullah ta'ala. Are we all together? But these ones are more organized than Ibn Taymiyyah's one. This kitab, the Nuqayah, with the 14 sciences, all 14 sciences, Suyuuti explained it, all 14. And he called it إتمام الدراية لقراء النقاية, all 14. It's 2 or 3 volumes. Are we all together? Good. Does everyone understand that now? Now we're going to go into the next point, which is the definition of ilm al-tafsir. What does ilm al-tafsir mean? What did we call the definition of ilm al-tafsir? We kind of corrected the author. I said Suyuuti did a mistake here. Okay, he called this Kitab al-Nuqayah, he called this particular subject, he called it what? He called it ilm al-tafsir, right? But what should he have called it? He should have called it, it was more accurate to call it what? Ulum al-Quran. Why did we say that Suyuuti should not have called it ilm al-tafsir? Is because when we go to the book and we look at the muhtawayatul kitab, what the book consists of, and we observe it, and we look at what he tackles and what he talks about, we realize that he starts to talk about issues related to ulum al-Quran. And ulum al-Quran is more general than ilm al-tafsir, because ilm al-tafsir is a subject within ulum al-Quran. And we said ulum al-Quran is divided into 3. So we said it's divided into 3. Number 1, number 2, number 3. The first one he said ما يتعلق بلفظه. And we said 2 subjects come out of that. That which is connected to its what? Lafz. Lafz here means, by the way, pronunciation. And we said here is al-qira'at, and also what? At-tajweed. And we said the best book in al-qira'at is the Hirz al-Amani, صح? The Hirz of Al-Shatibi, rahimahullah. Yeah? Yeah, so the Hirz by Shatibi. Tajweed, we said, one of the most comprehensive books of Tajweed is Muqaddimatul Jazariya, right? So this is that which is Muqaddimah Al-Jazariya. Muqaddimah Al-Jazariya. The second kitab is ما يتعلق بمعناه. And here is علم التفسير, And here is what also al-waqf wal-ibtida. In al-waqf wal-ibtida, sorry, in ilm al-tafsir, we said that one of the best books to do is مقدمة في أصول تفسير ابن تيمية. Let's just say that. Even though it's not comprehensive. And also here, al-waqf wal-ibtida. I don't know any comprehensive book that can be done in al-waqf wal-ibtida. Kitabun jami'. A comprehensive book in al-waqf wal-ibtida. I don't know one kitab which is comprehensive that a person can study. Majority of the books I've seen, they specifically choose parts of waqf al-ibtida, like waqf which is lazim, and they write a book on that. So it's not comprehensive of all the types of the waqf that you need to do, and I don't know it. So this is my ignorance of it. The third one is ما يتعلق بشكله. ما يتعلق بشكله, it means what is connected to the writing, the way it's written. And here we say is رسم المصحف, رسم المصحف, and also and عد الآية, right? عد الآية. So the رسم المصحف, and we said the kitab عقيلة أتراب القصائد, right? The kitab al-Aqila. And the kitab عد الآية, the ناظمة الزهر by Shatibi as well. So those are the three books. Those are the three sciences that it talks about ulum al-Quran. What did you just see? Ilm al-Tafseer is part of ulum al-Quran. صحيح? Here's ilm al-Tafseer. And he called his kitab Nuqayah, Suyuuti. What did he call it? He called it ilm al-Tafseer, right? He called it ilm al-Tafseer. But when we look at the kitab, the author is going to speak about some issues related to tajweed. He's going to talk about some issues related to qira'at. He's going to talk about issues related to al-waqf wal-ibtida'. We'll see it. Issues of rasm al-mushaf, however you want to say it. And he even talks about addul ayat, the number of the ayat, and issues related to that. So in his kitab, Nuqayah, in this kitab, it touches on everything. So it was more sensible to call it what? Ulum al-Quran instead of calling it what? Ilm al-Tafseer. Does now everybody understand? Does it make sense? Okay, good question. The author, what he did was, the categorization of things are always either general or detailed categorization. Suyuuti here in the Nuqayah, he breaks it into how many types when we open it? 55. These 55 can be broken into these three. When we make it, we bring it back and squeeze it together. It's going to be either parts of it that go to ما يتعلق بلفظه, which is al-qira'at and al-tajweed. Some things which are ilm al-tafsir. Some things which are al-waqf wal-ibtida' he talks about. So we can push it into here, the 55 types. Does that make sense? The 55 can be squeezed into here, which is the next point I was going to go to. Anyways, since the author called the kitab ilm al-tafsir, since he called this particular subject ilm al-tafsir, what does ilm al-tafsir mean? What does ilm al-tafsir mean? هيا هيا يا يا القواعد هي ودي القواعد التي يتعرف yeah what is it القواعد التي يتعرف بها how did I write it before did I say قواعد before did I use the word القواعد I just said كشف معاني القرآن الكريم huh yeah I think I wrote كشف معاني القرآن الكريم صح but no problem even if you say قواعد no problem but I think I said last time كشف معاني القرآن كشف معاني القرآن it's just to know the meaning that's in the Quran that's simple I think I said something like that صح did I say anything else if I did it will become clear time will سهل that was a slight long division yeah. Of what I read right now that's the first chapter when we go into the first chapter ما يتعلق بنزول القرآن what does the word نزول mean صح when we go into نزول القرآن the descending of the Quran that was the last chapter what we said in terms of writing and can you give me the definition you said again to clarify the intent of Allah so yeah sorry I didn't do it like last time what I did was I explained ilm by itself and then a tafsir by itself and then a subject together right so what did we say ilm was نقيض الجهل وهو إدراك الشيء على ما هو عليه إدراكا جازما we said knowledge is the opposite of ignorance and knowledge is to perceive something as it is with certainty صح إدراك الشيء على ما هو عليه إدراكا جازما and then we said the word التفسير من الفسر the word التفسير originally comes from the word الفسر what does فسر mean yeah it's to bring something clear to open it now I'm clarifying and we said that the word together now, ilm al-tafsir, the brother clarified that I wrote this on the board last time, kashfu ma'ani al-Quran. It is to explain the meaning of the Quran. But I think when I said in English, I might have said kashfu ma'ani al-Quran al-Kareem ala ma unzila ala Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Well, maybe that's what I wrote last time, which is to clarify the meaning in the Quran as it was sent down on the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. How many points does the author rahimahullah discuss here? How many things does he discuss in the Kitab and Nuqayah? 55. So 55. And how many chapterings did he make? He made 6 chapterings. What was the first chapter? Yeah? The first chapter was the descending of the Quran, correct? And in there, how many of the 55 were mentioned in there? 12 of them. Did we take those 12? We did take those 12. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And we stopped there, right? After the second chapter, we just spoke about what it means. Sah? We did, huh? Oh yes, sah. The second chapter, we spoke about what does the chain mean. What was the second chapter? What is connected to the chain of narration. Okay. But we didn't go into the 6 that are mentioned in there, right? Did we speak about it? How many were mentioned in the second? 6, right? We didn't go into the 6, did we? We said we'll come to that, inshallah ta'ala. We will. But before all of these 6 chapterings, the author did something. What did he do? A muqaddimah, an introduction. How many points in the introduction did he mention? How many things were mentioned in the introduction? Yeah? 8 things were mentioned. Okay. What was the first thing that was mentioned? The definition of the Quran. What was the definition of the Quran? Yeah. What was the definition he gave for Quran? Yeah? So the definition of the Quran is Al-Quranu Kalamullah al-Munazzal. The Quran is the speech of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala that was sent down on who? On Nabillahi Muhammad. لِلْإِعْجَازِ بِصُورَةٍ مِّنْهُ. That's what the author said, right? And it was to make the people feel unable to come with its likes. And we discussed this, right? What did we say? The Quran, did it really come down to really make people feel like they can't come with its likes? Or did it come to guide the people? And we corrected that. But by the way, subhanAllah, this issue of the Quran, what does the Quran mean? What does the Quran mean? If you really think about it, was a long ongoing discussion and a debate that took place at the early stages of Al-Islam. Are we all together, brothers? And subhanAllah, just recently I was reading the biography of the great Imam, Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. The great Imam, Al-Imam Ahmad. You all know who Imam Ahmad is, right? At the time of Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal lived through the Dawla al-Abbasiyah, the Abbasi Dawla. Okay? And he lived through the time of Harun al-Rashid, Al-Imam Ahmad. And Harun al-Rashid, he gave a lot of aid and support to Ahlul Sunnah. He gave support to the people of Hadith, the people of Fiqh. He aided them, supported them. Financially, he supported them. Morally, he helped them and aided them. Even he made the Ministry of Justice in Baghdad Al-Qadi Abu Yusuf, the student of Imam Abu Hanifa. And Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Shaybani took over after him. Are we all together? And he even requested Al-Imam al-Shafi'i when he came to Iraq. Harun al-Rashid said, bring Al-Imam Shafi'i to me. He was brought to him in his place. He said, Shafi'i, I want you to stay here and not go anywhere, and I want you to take leadership. I want you to take a position in Qadha. Shafi'i said, Jazakallah khairan of what you thought of me and how much you love me, but no, I'm not going to take it. And he returned it down. And he requested it from him again. And he said, please, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, let me go of this duty. Harun al-Rashid. Even when Harun al-Rashid found out that Imam Malik died in in Medina, when Harun al-Rashid found out that Imam Malik died, he cried, he sobbed excessively. And he said, today we're going to realize that a space is left open for us. Malik was holding a big position. So Harun al-Rashid was a man who loved the A'immatul Hadith, the Fuqaha. Harun al-Rashid, he had many children, and from his children were that he had a son called Al-Amin, Abu Abdullah Al-Amin, and he also had another son called Al-Ma'mun. Okay? He had another son called Al-Mu'tasim. I'm only mentioning these three because they were in chronological order of taking after him. I want you to quickly listen to this as a side benefit, okay? Harun al-Rashid died. When Harun al-Rashid died, Harun al-Rashid specifically requested to his wazir, his minister, Al-Fadl ibn Rabi'. He said to Al-Fadl ibn Rabi', I request one thing from you. When I die, the army of mine, I want you to send it to my son Al-Ma'mun who's in Khurasan. Give him the army, give him the men. But the Amir al-Mu'mineen is going to be my other son, Al-Amin. Okay? And this was what was written and agreed upon. Harun al-Rashid died. Al-Rabi' ibn Al-Fadl ibn al-Rabi', who is the minister of Harun al-Rashid, when Harun al-Rashid died, he, instead of sending the army to Al-Ma'mun, as was told, he went and he sent it to who? Al-Amin, who was in Iraq, Baghdad. So this caused a bit of issue and tension to Al-Ma'mun. Two brothers from the same father. Harun al-Rashid's son, Al-Ma'mun, received an army. And of course, there were evil people around Al-Ma'mun. They whispered to him, and they caused a fight between him and his brother Al-Ma'mun in Al-Khurasan. They fought. Are we all together, brothers? And when they fought, it led to, at the time of Al-Imam Ahmed, the Muslim to fight. Something is shocking for the Muslims. So what happened? Two brothers as well. Al-Amin sent 40,000 horsemen, powerful army from the army of the Muslims. And he sent it towards who? His brother in Khurasan, Al-Ma'mun. And he goes fight him. And he made the commander for a man who knew the valleys and the town of Khurasan like the back of his hand. Ali ibn Isa ibn Mahan. He said, you go and lead the army and go do it. Ali ibn Isa ibn Mahan took 40,000 men, went to Khurasan, and Al-Ma'mun, his brother, finds out that his brother is sending an army to him. So what does he do? He sends only 4,000 men. Because he doesn't have more. He's only a governor. He's not the Amir al-Mu'mineen. He doesn't have the army. The army is in Baghdad. 40,000 against how much? 4,000. Like in this 4,000, they have one man who knows how to fight. His name is called Al-Tahir ibn Hussein, a man who's known for his fighting. Anyways, he takes the 4,000 men and he destroys 40,000 horsemen of the Khilafah, the Amir al-Mu'mineen, all of it. This sends shockwave. Al-Ma'mun now doesn't just stick to just holding on to Al-Khurasan, he starts thinking to go to where? Baghdad. Take over the whole Khilafah, turn everything over. And ala kulli hal, Al-Amin in Baghdad realizes he can't keep control over the Khilafah anymore. So he said, I'm going to have to go and meet my brother. I'm going to have to go meet my brother. I want you to guys understand, this is the political current situation of that time. Like in behind the scenes, there is a group working that were trying to work at the time of who? Harun al-Rashid. And they were called the Mu'tazila, a deviated group. The Mu'tazila believed Allah does not speak and the Quran is created, and they believed many other evil beliefs. Harun al-Rashid arrested them, lashed them, bashed them, killed them. He got rid of them. But he didn't kill 3 men. There were 3 big heads. Thumamat ibn Ashras, Bishr al-Marisi, and Ahmad ibn Du'ad. First of all, Ahmad ibn Du'ad was silent. He never used to talk about his belief. He used to hide. Whatever he was asked, I don't know. And if he saw someone would listen to him, he would whisper to him. As for Bishr al-Marisi, he was vocal about his belief. He would speak about it. And so Harun al-Rashid said, bring him to me, but he ran away. Thumamat ibn Ashras, he was brought to Harun al-Rashid. And when he was brought to Harun al-Rashid, he said, I don't even believe this at all. And he lied. And he denied everything. And Harun al-Rashid said, okay, go. And he made Harun al-Rashid laugh, because he was a bubbly man, had good charisma, and he knew how to talk. So Harun al-Rashid said, go. But the rest, they were killed, they were massacred, they were finished. Harun al-Rashid died. Al-Amin, the son who had control of al-Baghdad in Iraq, he, of course, wants to go to his brother Al-Ma'mun now, because he realized he can't keep the Khilafah in his hand. But the army of Al-Ma'mun is coming with full force. And Wallahi, ajib. Al-Amin's army and his soldiers, they take a lot of money from Al-Amin. He pays their salary very well. But somehow, the people are more loyal to Al-Ma'mun. So what he does is that when he comes, he gives the people of Al-Ma'mun two options. Either come with the army or we'll kill you. And so they join. And so the army of Al-Ma'mun grows bigger and bigger and bigger. Because the man who is the leader of the army of Al-Ma'mun is Tahir ibn Hussein, and he's become famous for his fight. 40,000, he took them all down with 4,000 men. So Harun al-Amin becomes scared. He said, I want to meet my brother. The only person I know I can trust is my brother. If these people around my brother grab me, they're going to kill me. So he sits down and he thinks about what should he do. His close army and his generals, they advise him, there's two men that are coming to who are coming to you right now from the army of Al-Ma'mun. Ma'mun sent two generals. One is Tahir ibn Hussein, and the second one, I forgot his name. They said, if you go towards the direction of Tahir ibn Hussein, he's going to kill you. He's not a soft man, and he doesn't care about whether you're the son of Harun al-Rashid or anything. He will kill you. He's a general. He follows the rules. But the other general, he knows your father. He has a soft spot for your father. He saw you and your Ma'mun as kids playing around, and he would love to bring you two together. So try to go that direction. The direction of the second general, not Al-Tahir ibn Hussein, the other one, is through the river of Nahru Dajla. Dijla. Go through the river, and Al-Amin, if you go to that general, he will help you. So when he went through the river, the army of Al-Tahir ibn Hussein caught him on the ocean, on the boat. They saw the boat coming. They killed the people on there. Al-Amin went down. They grabbed him. They brought him and they killed him. Who's dead now? Al-Amin's gone. Al-Ma'mun comes in power. When Al-Amin comes into power, the Mu'tazila of Iraq, they made it their focus to go around Al-Amin. Al-Ma'mun. Al-Amin's gone. Al-Ma'mun, to go around him. And they really circulated around him. What did they do? They locked him. They became his ministers, his right-hand man. He's this, he's that. Thumamat ibn Ashras, Bishr al-Marisi, Ibn Du'ad, all of them. Until they became his eyes and ears. Every day they whispered to him. Every day. Lakin, there was a great imam from the A'immatul Hadith who also had a high position with Ma'mun. Are we all together? And his name is Yahya ibn al-Aktham. Yahya ibn al-Aktham has a position. Like he's min Ahlul Sunnah. And every day he has a problem with who? Ibn Du'ad. Him and Ibn Du'ad are going at each other. Like somehow Ibn Du'ad is there, he is smart, he's clever, he knows how to debate, he knows the tactics. So who generally wins in the arguments? And that convinced Ma'mun. Brothers, I'm coming to a very important point. Okay? This is long, I'm cutting out a lot of points. It reached a point where they convinced Al-Ma'mun that the Quran is created. And he accepted it. And then they said, now, the people who believe other than this opinion are kuffar. The people who don't believe the Quran is created are kuffar. So now what we need to do is, we need to check who believes our belief. Al-Ma'mun. Ma'mun says, okay, no problem. Let's test the people. The people get tested. And then they say, but that's not enough. We need to, first they will say, let's test the people. Let's see their belief. We want to know who believes it or not. Ahmad ibn Hanbal gets called. Yahya ibn Ma'in. Abu Khaythamah Zuhair ibn Harbin. Ali ibn al-Madini, Ishaq ibn Ra. A'immatul Hadith wal Fuqaha, who you read in the books, get called into Iraq. They come, everyone come. They get called in a room. They get asked, hey, what do you believe about the Quran? Nothing, no other question. Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he said, Al-Quran kalamullah. Yahya ibn Ma'in, Al-Quran kalamullah. Everybody. Write their names down. Remember, Al-Ma'mun, when he took over, he didn't go to Baghdad. Even though he became the Khalifa to Muslimin, he didn't go to Baghdad. He stayed in Tarsus. That's where he is. But he's got a governor that represents him in Iraq. And that governor, he's more inclined to the people of hadith. He loves them. So what did he do? He made an inspector on top of him to inspect his work and his role, to see if he's lenient towards the people of hadith. Are we all together? Anyways, the point is, and this is the point I want to get to, wallahi, it shocked me. They finally convinced Ma'mun to torture and strip from the position those who believe that the Quran is the speech of Allah. Strip them from their positions. So he said, 7 of them, I want them to come to me in Tarsus. Ma'mun said, I need them. I need to meet them face to face. Imagine that. 7 of them, Abu Khaythamata, Abu Muslim, Yazid ibn Harun, Yahya ibn Ma'in, 7 men. They went to Tarsus and they stood in front of Al-Ma'mun. Ma'mun said, I have a question. And who do you know who spoke? To Ma'mun. Yahya ibn Ma'in. Al-Ma'mun said to Yahya ibn Ma'in, you got all these 7 men? You guys are the people of hadith? Okay, I have one question for you. What do you believe about the Quran? Is it created or not? Yahya ibn Ma'in, of course, he said, Al-Quranu kalamullah. He said, I never asked you whether the Quran is speech of Allah. I believe it. Is it created or not? Yahya ibn Ma'in said, we are in the Quran and the Sunnah, we are commanded to listen and obey the Muslim leader. We are not allowed to go against them. He went around. So I'm not asking you all that. I'm asking you, is the Quran kalamullah ghayru makhluqin am la? Then Yahya ibn Ma'in said, I obey and I listen to the Muslim leader. He said, I didn't ask you that. I am asking you clearly and categorically, is the Quran created? Yes or no? Yahya looked and he said to him, Al-Quran makhluq. He said, let these 7 men go back to Iraq. Write all of their names, document it for me, and write it in the paper for us. Yahya ibn Ma'in landed back to Baghdad. As soon as he entered, he avoided meeting Ahmad ibn Hanbal and Muhammad ibn Nuh. Because this time, brothers, it's a time of sunnah and bid'ah. There's no middle path. It's numbers. Any man of Ahlul Sunnah who says that the Quran is created, it gives a voice to the Mu'tazila. Khalas. So Yahya ibn Ma'in came to Baghdad, he hid from Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he went to his place. Ahmad said, I saw Yahya ibn Ma'in coming to the masjid today, and he avoided us. He said this to Muhammad ibn Nuh. Is there a reason why he avoided us? Let's investigate. Muhammad ibn Nuh said, I'm going to go and talk to him. He went to Yahya ibn Ma'in and said, Yahya, what happened? He goes, I don't want to talk about it. He said, what happened? He goes, I don't know how to face Allah Azza wa Jalla the day of judgment. A statement like what I just said. Wallahi, I saw the sword in front of me. And what could happen? This issue is tafakhamat. It's become big. So it wasn't easy for me to hold my position. Muhammad ibn Nuh said, Khayyabtana, you've humiliated us. It was today that we needed your voice. We needed you to take a position with us. We needed you to say that the Quran is the kalam of Allah, ghayru makhluq. And it would have become Ahlul Hadith wa Sunnah and Ahlul Bid'ah on one side. It would have been that row, 2 separate lines. It was not a time for you to hold yourself back. Ahmad ibn Hanbal, when he was told, was shocked. So they called Ahmad ibn Hanbal. They said, come here. What do you believe about the Quran? Wallah, he said, Al-Quranu kalamullah, ghayru makhluq. They said, take him, imprison him, beat him, lash him. And Ahmad ibn Hanbal went through that torture. Ahmad refused to talk to the people of Hadith who took the position of taking this as a coercion. إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. Ahmad said, La. Because this was a time that people's names was used to propagate this opinion. It was going to be made the only opinion out there, consensus basically. Ma'mun wanted to make this into wakat. An ijma'. And the ijma' would have happened at this time. Are we all together, brothers? And we had to break that ijma' and show there's no ijma' in this issue. بل الإجماع عكس ذلك. Rather, the consensus is the what? So what I say is, Muhammad ibn Nuh, he went in prison. Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Rather, Ahmad ibn Nasr al-Khuza'i, he died from this issue of Khalq al-Quran. He got killed because of it. Rahimahullah ta'ala. He was harsh in his position. Ahmad ibn Hanbal the same. ولذلك, the great Imam who has a kitab, صاحب كتاب الثقات, Al-Ajli rahimahullah, he said, I entered onto Muhammad ibn Nuh, one of the friends of Imam Ahmad and the student of Imam Ahmad. He was in prison because of the Khalq al-Quran. And Al-Ajli, he said, I entered. And when I entered, I saw him in his prison. I saw Al-Ajli in his prison. Muhammad ibn Nuh in his prison because of the issue of the Khalq al-Quran. So when he saw him from far, he stood up, smiled, and he said, Salaamu alaykum. He said, Wa alaykum salam. He said to me, how are you? And he had some money in his clothing. Who had it? Muhammad ibn Nuh had money. He got the money out of his pocket and he said to Al-Ajli, this is your money. I can see the clothing you're wearing is not good. Muhammad ibn Nuh is saying this. He's in prison. He said, the money, this is for you. Buy good clothing. You look tired. He said, I said to him, I don't need your money. I don't need it. Keep it. And even if I ever did need money, you would be the last person I would take it from. Because you're a man in prison. And you're in the situation that you are in. So, it didn't change their happiness and their joy. Are we all together? Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah, at the situation he was put under, the stress and the hardship that he was put under, it was said that a man came to him one day, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and he said, Isbir ya Aba Abdullah. Abu Abdullah, meaning Ahmad ibn Hanbal, be patient. Be patient. He said, what you are being beaten and lashed for is an issue of iman and kufr. Is the Quran created or not? An issue of great weight and innovation. And I'm in prison because of drinking khamr. And I get beaten, I get brought back again. My nafs wants it. And I endure the pain for what I enjoy. For the khamr I drink. I'm patient for it. I get lashed, I'm brought, because I enjoy drinking the khamr. I can't stop, I'm addicted to it. And you should be like that towards the sunnah. If you enjoy it and you're happy about this holding on to the sunnah, hold on to it, even if you're put under so much pressure. Are we all together? But what really shocked me is I don't believe in any way, shape or form, not even the slightest, that I am any way stronger and more powerful than Yahya ibn Ma'in, rahimahullah ta'ala. Great Imam, ya ikhwa. But he wasn't able that day, that specific day, Yahya ibn Ma'in was not able to say that the Quran is not created and hold on to it. Are we all together? يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا يثبت الله الذين آمنوا. Allah makes firm who? يثبت الله الذين آمنوا. Allah makes firm those who believe in Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a choice Allah gives. It's a choice Allah. It's a mashia. It's Allah's will. He chooses who He wants to make firm and steadfast and upright in His statement. May Allah make us from those who hold into their religion with a multitude. So what I mean by all of this is, we nowadays have people who say this issue of Allah's names and attributes and His characteristics are trivial issues. What are they? They're trivial issues. They're issues that have no weight. They don't have what? have no weight, no importance, no significance. Why are we wasting our time on a medieval discussion? What's something that these great imams saw as what? They lost their lives, they lost their health, deteriorated because of it. To call it something trivial, it's undermining Ahmad ibn Hanbal's legacy. It's undermining Al-Imam al-Bukhari's legacy. That's why he wrote the kitab Khalq Af'al al-Ibad. It's you saying that they wasted their time in writing these books. Rahimahumullahu azza wa jalla. And so the scholars, they said, the day of Ridda, the day of the apostasy, Allah defended Islam through Abu Bakr. And the day when the Quran was said that it was created, who did Allah save the religion through? Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Al-Imam Ahmad. By Allah, I say this. If Ahmad ibn Hanbal gave in and said, okay, I'm just going to take a rukhsah. I'm going to take the easy way out. And the Quran is created because I don't want to get through prison and lose my children and my family time. And if Ahmad ibn Hanbal was to say that, most likely the issue of the Khalq al-Quran may have been seen as an opinion from the opinions of Ahlul Sunnah. It probably would have been seen that way. You would have seen people say, Ahmad did believe that the Quran is makhluk. Are we all together? Nah. So anyways, the 8 points that he mentioned in the Muqaddimah, the first one was Ta'rif al-Quran, the definition of the Quran. What was the second thing? The definition of the surah. What does a surah mean? And what was the definition he gave for a surah? أنها طائفة من القرآن, it's a portion of the Quran, meaning جملة من القرآن, a portion of the Quran. And is a surah tawqifi? Is it tawqifi? Can someone choose the order of the order of the surahs, the chronological order? Or is it from the Prophet ﷺ that we take it from? It's from the text that we take from. The Quran, the Prophet tells us, take the surah, put it there. Take the surah, put it there. Nah. What about the ayah? What about the third one? What's the third one? So what's this first? What's the shortest surah in the Quran? Yeah? The shortest surah is Surah Al-Kawthar, right? If we do not add the basmala as an ayah, it becomes 3, right? And if we add the basmala as an ayah, what does it become? 4. Number 3. The third point was what? From the 8? The definition of an ayah. What was the definition of an ayah? So it's, mashallah, it's a portion of the surah of the Quran, has a point where it starts from and a point where it finishes. Sahih, correct. Like ثم النظر, ثم عبس وبصر. Ayat. Sahih. Is there virtues of the verses of the Quran? Can one verse be more virtuous than the other verse? Who hold that opinion? From Ahlul Sunnah? Who held the opinion that there can be? Yeah? Ishaq ibn Rahawayah, Abu Hatim ibn Hibban, Abu Bakr ibn al-Arabi, and Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. And this is in accordance to the evidences, right? Because Allah said in the Quran, مَا نَنْسَخْ مِنْ آيَةٍ أَوْ نُنْسِهَا نَأْتِ بِخَيْرٍ مِنْهَا أَوْ مِثْلِهَا. Sahih. Yeah? Abu Hatim ibn Hibban. Abu Hatim ibn Hibban. It's the author of the kitab, the Sahih ibn Hibban. Have you heard of it? Okay, what's the evidence from the Quran? Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 106. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 106. ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسيها نأتي بخير منها أو مثلها. نأتي بخير منها. We will come with a verse better than it. Better. And of course this hadith of Abi Sa'id ibn al-Mu'alla, when the Prophet ﷺ said to him about Surah Al-Fatiha, shall I not teach you the most virtuous surah in the Quran? And of course hadithi Ubay ibn Ka'b and the Muslimin, but the Prophet ﷺ said to him what? Shall I teach you the greatest ayah in the Quran? Ayatul Kursi. Okay, we said that the Quran has tafadul. Where is the tafadul? When the scholars talk about mawridul tafadul, where the virtue lies, where is it? It's one or two places, right? The first one is either in the meaning, and the second one is what? The reward of the person who is reciting. So the first one is تفاضل يتعلق بقراءة أما بثواب القراء بثواب القراءة. The second one is أن التفاضل يتعلق بمعاني الآيات. And which one did Ibn Taymiyyah push? Yeah, Ibn Taymiyyah pushed the meaning. Ibn Hibban, he pushed the opinion that it's what? The first one. Number 5. What was the fifth point that the author talked about in the introduction? Fadal, We're going to come to it. We're going to move each chapter now. First, let's talk about introduction. In the first chapter, this is the introduction. These 8 are the introduction, right? We're going to come to the first chapter, inshallah, in the next 5-10 minutes, inshallah. What's the fifth mas'ala that the author spoke about? Yeah? The Quran read in the what? In a foreign language. Can a person read the Quran in another language? Okay. Can you do that? So can someone come and read the Quran in English? Say, Allahu Akbar. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most gracious. Praises to, and it reads Fatiha in English. Can he do that? Yeah? We said no. What's the reason why it's not allowed? Suyuuti mentions it in his Itmam al-Diraya. He says, لأنه يذهب إعجاز القرآن الذي أنزل له. Because remember, the Quran is a miracle from Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And so what we said is, if you change the Arabic to English, that's where the meaning goes now. Especially if we take the opinion that the virtue of the Quran is in the meaning and the superiority. The minute you change it with different wordings, it may change and alter that meaning. And Allah says in the Quran, قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا غَيْرَ ذِي عِوَجٍ غَيْرَ ذِي عِوَجٍ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. So the Quran is in the Arabic language, and the Quran is not crooked. It's not, because it's in the Arabic language. Some of the scholars, they done istinbat and they said Quran and Arabiyan because it's in the Arabic language. And I want you, subhanAllah, something I want to tell you. Al-Imam al-Shafi'i mentioned in his Risala, he said that the Arabic language is the best of languages because of Quraysh, what they did with the Arabic language. Quraysh, because they were the custodians of the Kaaba, Quraysh used to see all the Arabs speak. They used to see all the Arabs speak. And when they saw the Arabs speak, they would choose words from them and borrow it. Are we all together? And so they had the most, or the purest Arabic, the most cleansed, chosen, picked language. Are you with me? So then it became a language that was so well spoken, that when all people would come to them from all of the Amsar, Quraysh, from different lands, their Arabic was wow. All the other Bani Tamim, Bani this, when they came and saw Quraysh, فصاحتهم وبلاغتهم, That's how pure it was. So anyways, the Arabic language was a language that intiqa was done on it. It was picked and chosen. So Allah chose Quraysh. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 6. Number 6. The translation of the Quran. Hey, what did we say about that? To do translation of the Quran, even in the Arabic language, is actually hard. صح? To translate the Quran, even in the Arabic language, I'm explaining in the Arabic language, is hard. Because the words Allah chose, there's no synonyms for it. Are we all together? Hatta even forget anything else. Mawdi'ul idmar, places where Allah chose a pronoun to bring an apparent name, hatta does injustice towards the verse. Some place where Allah says, Innahu kana ghafuran rahima. Innahu, He is referring to Allah. If you just change the word He to Allah, you brought the actual name, and you said, I want to change this. I don't want it to be Innahu. I want it to be Inna Allah kana ghafuran rahima. It's going to be injustice towards that particular verse that you're changing. Are we all together, brothers? SubhanAllah. Let alone translating word for word. So this is impossible. But that's what the scholars, what they do is, they give the overall meaning. And that's what sometimes, when there's a word in the Quran, what they do is, they give you 4 or 5 different wordings that can explain it. And not just one. Number 6. We took it. 7. Yeah, based on meaning. So can a person read the Quran based on meaning? You can't. And an example for that is the word Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Qul, wherever we see in the Quran, who is Allah talking to? The Prophet. The Prophet is not alive anymore. Let's just take the Qul out. And they say, Huwa Allahu ahad. Okay? And etc. The 8th and the final one was what? Tafseer al-Qur'ani bil-Ra'i. Doing the tafsir of the Quran based on what? Based on opinion. And we said the tafsir of the Quran based on opinion is how many types? 2 types. 2 types. The tafsir of the Quran based on opinion is what? 2 types. A type which is praiseworthy and a type which is blameworthy. The praiseworthy one is what? Mahtamalahu al-lafdhu, the meaning shows it. I mean, the Arabic language accepts it. What do we mean by the meaning shows it? The meaning shows it. The meaning indicates this. The wording shows this. The wording, it shows this meaning and it will accept this meaning. Let me give you an example. And it'll become clear with an example. The example is, Allah said in the Quran, لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه فإذا قرأناه فاتبع قرآنه ثم إن علينا بيانه كلا بل تحبون العاجلة وتذرون الآخرة وجوه يومئذ ناظرة إلى ربها ناظرة وجوه يومئذ ناظرة. Faces will look at Allah that day. وجوه يومئذ ناظرة. The word that's used here is what? ناظرة. وجوه يومئذ ناظرة. The Mu'tazila came and they said the word ناظرة. It doesn't mean Allah will be seen the day of judgment. The word ناظرة, it means intidhar. To wait. Are we all together? Ajib. So the word nadhira, it doesn't mean Allah will be seen the day of judgment. It means the people will wait for Allah's reward. We will say to them, you guys are forcing a word to take a meaning that it can't take. Why can't it take it? Because in the Arabic language, the word nadhira, if it uses, in the Arabic language, يتعدى إلى, if it uses the word إلى after it, it can only mean الرؤية بالبصر, to see with your eyes. لا يحتمله اللفظ, the meaning can't. Are we all together? And this ayah did وجوه يومئذ ناظرة إلى ربها ناظرة. The word إلى was used. Does that make sense? Am I making the issue clear? So that's tafseer بالرأي المذموم. It is tafseer of the Quran based on a what? A blameworthy opinion. Because you're forcing the word to take a meaning that it can't take. The Arabic language doesn't allow it. It doesn't. Arabs don't say that. Arabs have never used it in that way. And the Quran is talking in the Arabic language. So the praiseworthy is, doing the Quran based on praiseworthy tafsir. So remember, we said the Quran can be done tafsir of based on opinion. The opinion can be praiseworthy or blameworthy. Praiseworthy opinion is when the word can accept that meaning. Okay, one. Second is evidences have also shown it. Two things. There is evidence for your argument. The base of what you're saying, there's evidence for it. And the Arabic language will accept it here. Then this is praiseworthy opinion. The second one is the wording cannot accept it. Nadhira, to say intidhar. The Arabic language doesn't accept it. And second thing is there's no evidence for this aslan. There is no evidence that indicate it. This is blameworthy opinion now. Okay. The first chapter, let's break down inshallah ta'ala, and we're going to conclude there. Let's break down what was it that we discussed in the first chapter. 12 of the 55. What was the first one? First of all, what was the first chapter? Nuzul al-Quran, that which is connected to the descending of the Quran. And what we say the nuzul of the Quran is how many types? Yeah? Written and what? Spoken, right? Good. Who from the ulama of Ahlul Sunnah, rejected the Quran coming down written? I don't want to say they rejected it, but they chose to withhold from this opinion. And they chose to not push this opinion. And they're from ulama Ahlul Sunnah. But they were wrong in this opinion. Who are they? Yeah? Who from the ulama? We said that the Quran it came down two ways. Kitabatan wa takliman ama qawlan, صح? Speech and what? Written. Question. Who from the ulama, they said, the issue of the Quran being written, we want to stay withhold from that. Yeah? The ulama ad-da'wat al-islahiyah, the da'wat Ahl Najd, the Najdi scholars, they withheld from that opinion. From them is the Mufti of Saudi Arabia, first Mufti of Saudi Arabia, or the Mufti before Ibn Baz. And who was it? Muhammad ibn Ibrahim al-Shaykh. He chose to withhold that. And he even wrote a book in that issue. Naam. And the reason why his argument is that this is the opinion that the Asha'ira use. But just because they use it doesn't mean it's for them. Okay? لذلك, one of the benefits that Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned is, he says, كُلُّ دَلِيلٍ عَقْلِيٍّ, every rational argument. It's a very powerful principle. Very powerful principle. I would advise you to write it. Ibn Taymiyyah said, every rational argument that someone uses against you, and any rational argument that a deviated person uses, that same argument can be used against him. Every rational argument that a deviated person uses against you, you could respond to them based on that same argument itself. But not everybody can do that, right? Not everybody can. You have to be a hadiq, you have to be a very smart, sharp person, صح? To be able to take an evidence and use it. One of the things that shocked me, or Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, really shocked me with him is, he got angry on one time, very angry, and he was a person, rahimahullah ta'ala, he used to get angry. He used to get angry a lot. As Imam al-Dhahabi said, Ibn Taymiyyah, when he spoke, he got angry. His voice would raise and he would shout. Anyways, he had a log on the papers, on the scrolls, that things were written in there, and it was ayat and Quran and hadith. And so when he got angry, the anger overcame him, so he took it and he threw it on the floor. So his opponents saw that, and they said, look at this man. He's throwing the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet on the floor. Yeah? Just want to show you how Shaykh al-Islam was fast in responding. He said, Nabiullahi Musa, who came before me, was from Ulul Azmi min al-Rusuli. He took the lawh that had the Torah written on it. And by the way, Allah wrote the Torah with his own hand. وَأَلْقَى الْأَلْوَاحَ, Musa threw the lawh on the floor. Why are you blaming me for when I get angry? One of the 5 chosen prophets, Musa alayhi salam, had done this before me. Allah stated in the Quran. What do you want? The point I'm trying to get from that is I'm not saying everyone throw the mushafs on the floor and find a justification. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to show you how sharp he was and how quick his arguments were and how fast he knew what to use. Ajib, wallahi, when you look at him. You know what they said about him, rahimahullah ta'ala? They said the brain of Ibn Taymiyyah was قُبَّةُ صَخْرٍ مُلِئَ كُتُبًا. He was like a masjid with the dome filled with books. And it was given a tongue to talk. That's it, khalas. Just talks. Everything's inside him. He says what he wants. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, I bought a book from the bookshop, book fair. 2 volumes. It has the debates of Ibn Taymiyyah. Munadarat Ibn Taymiyyah. All the debates that he went through. So it's good. 2 volumes. I finished it last night. What is ajib is how every debate and every discussions and how he broke down the principles and he built it up again and then broke it down. One thing that really stuck out for me was he never got tired of starting from the basic and becoming very technical in the discussion with his opponents. In other words, his debates were very systematic. He broke it down systematically. So, for instance, if he discussed something with someone, he would first of all find all of the things they agree on. You agree with me on this, okay, this. And then he'll go a level up. If he realizes the person doesn't understand, he goes back down again. He goes, hey, yeah, no problem. You didn't understand it. Let's go back down. Until he realizes that you've understood, then he'll go up with you. Tadarruj. Rahimahullah ta'ala. If someone alone went in more details, this book is very comprehensive, it's not actually broken down. They could bring from his arguments principles and قواعد عجيبة جدا 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 رحمه الله تعالى. And in terms of the Quran coming down, what did we break them into? The coming of the Quran in terms of timing and what? In terms of timing and in terms of place. In terms of timing, we said how many are there? Yeah? In terms of timing. الليلي النهاري الصيفي الشتائي أول ما نزل آخر ما نزل. And in terms of place, المكي and المدني الحضري السفري and الفراشي. صح? 5, right? 5. We got 11. What's the 12th one? سبب نزول. Why did we not mention it in those 2? Because we said the sabab nuzul is the reason that necessitates for it to come down either at this time or this place. So both of them come under the sabab nuzul. So, very good. And then we started the next chapter. What was the next chapter? Huh? The Sanad. We just spoke about the importance of Sanad and whatnot and issues related to that, but we didn't go in great details. I'll stop there inshallah ta'ala. I hope that was a good revision to help bi'idhnillahi for the test inshallah ta'ala. Anything which I have said that was wrong or incorrect is from me and shaitan, and Allah and His Messenger are free from it. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. I just wanted to say inshallah ta'ala, next week bi'idhnillahi al-kareem, we will be doing the science mustalah al-hadith. Mustalah al-hadith. The hadith, the authentication, the gradings of the hadiths. So please make sure you come and to benefit inshallah ta'ala. You learn a lot in there. Because right now you learn ulum al-Quran, and then what comes after ulum al-Quran? Ulum al-Hadith, right? Ulum al-Quran we took a bit. Now ulum al-Hadith. And we started with al-Aqidah, right? So we need to inshallah ta'ala do ulum al-Hadith. We'll finish al-Bayquniyah inshallah ta'ala. And the way we're going to focus on al-Bayquniyah is so much examples. We'll give a lot of examples for you to understand each point. And al-Bayquniyah is very small. It's a very small book, 34 lines. I'll encourage, if some of you want to memorize it, you can, and it'll be very good for you to memorize it. If you have it in you, it'll help you to memorize it. Even if you've never studied the science of hadith before, you can still come to this. Because it's the first book, literally the first book. Even before what? Even before Nuqbatul Fikr. It's like a book that just gives you the definition of each word. So when it gives you the definition, I'll give you one example. And that's it, you'll understand. The definition, example. That's literally what's going to happen. All I'm going to do is definition, example. Definition, example. Definition, example. And if there's categorization of each one, then I'll categorize it if there's a need for it. If there isn't, we'll leave it for the other kitab in the future, inshallah ta'ala, Nuqbatul Fikr. بارك الله فيكم وجزاكم الله خيرا.